It's fair to say that this season at Arsenal has not been a classic, and major investment is needed in the summer. The transfer window may not open again until June, but that does not stop Arsenal being linked to players on a daily basis. An overhaul of the playing squad being planned by new head of recruitment Sven Mislintat.The German is already a huge influence at Arsenal, having played a key part in bringing in all three of the club's signings since he arrived in November last year. Young Greek defender Konstantinos Mavropanos joined on his recommendation before Henrik Mkhitaryan and Pierre-Emerick, two players he had previously signed for Dortmund, followed him to North London. And it appears plenty more new faces could join them at the Emirates during the summer as Mislintat and head of football relations Raul Sanllehi attempt to build a squad capable of challenging for the Premier League title again. So who has been linked with a move to Arsenal as part of Mislintat's summer? Here Football. London. Take a look at some of the names. So far.The German midfielder is out of contract in the summer and available on a free transfer. Arsenal are one of the many clubs chasing the Schalke man, with Mislintat a big fan of the holding midfielder who is viewed as a potential replacement for Santi Cazorla. Schalke's sporting director Christian Heidel has admitted that he believes Meyer will leave the club at the end of the campaign. He said, "At the moment we can and must expect that Max leaves the club in the summer. Everything suggests that at the moment there is no offer from us and no wish for Max to have a conversation again." The French defender plays in Germany for Mainz and is viewed as a real prospect by Mislinat.Diallo is a left-footed centre-back who could fill in at left-back if needed and has excelled in the Bundesliga, having arrived from Monaco last summer. Another young centre-back playing in Germany, and another who is left-footed.He perhaps has better ball-playing skills than Diallo and is a German youth international. Uduokhai, 20, signed for Wolfsburg last summer from 1860 Munich and has had a fine season for such a young defender in the Bundesliga. Likened by some to Mats Hummels, the 21-year-old Turkish international is said to have made a big impression on Mislintat. The 21-year-old Freiburg centre-back is highly rated in Germany and has been linked with the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City and Liverpool. Freiburg insist he is not for sale, but reports in Germany suggest a bid in excess of £30 million could tempt them into doing business. The 24-year-old, who is also interesting Liverpool, had a superb season with Hoffenheim in 2016-17. Injuries have limited him a bit in the current campaign, but he is seen as one of Germany's brightest up-and-coming midfielders. Demirbay is viewed to be at his best in a deep-lying role at the base of a midfield. The German keeper has been tipped a possible long-term successor to Petr Cech at Arsenal. Reports have suggested that Mislintat has decided that Leno is the man who should take over as first-choice keeper at the Emirates. The 26-year-old has 6 international caps for Germany and has a £22 million release clause. Another young French defender who has moved to Germany in recent years. Pavard joined Stuttgart from Lille in August 2016 and has impressed in the Bundesliga despite his tender years. Mislintat is said to be a big fan, but Stuttgart's director of football has warned any interested club that Pavard would not come cheap. If this summer a club thinks it can buy him for €30 million, that club would be wrong, said Michael Reschke. We wouldn't even open the door to negotiations. The links to Dembele seem speculative at best, given he only moved to Barcelona from Borussia Dortmund last summer in a deal that could eventually total a staggering £135. 5M It's not been the best of seasons for Dembele at the Camp Nou following his big money move, and there have been reports he could be on the move again. With Mislintat being the man who signed him for Dortmund, that has seen the France international linked with a switch to the Emirates. It's clear looking at the above list that Arsenal are targeting some specific areas this summer, and that the Bundesliga could be the source of all of the new arrivals. Mislintat has identified the positions that needed improving, and they are goalkeeper, centre-back and holding midfield. Petr Cech is coming to the end of his wonderful career, while in the heart of the defence Arsenal will lose Per Mertesacker to retirement at the end of the season, while concerns continue over Laurent Koscielny's fitness. And with contract talks having so far failed to reach a conclusion with Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere, bringing in at least one central midfielder is seen as key at Arsenal. A key factor with potential new arrivals this summer is age. Arsenal brought in some experienced new faces in January when bringing in Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang, but they now want to look at adding some young potential to the squad. The feeling at the Emirates is that they are comfortable with the attacking options they now have, which is perhaps why the only attacker being linked so far is the rather far-fetched theory that Dembele could arrive from Barcelona.